Yeah. The way I do what I do, leave a motherfucker thinking how he get it like that. Shoes ain't dropped yet. I know he don't get it like that. If I never said I love you, fuck you. A nigga just living like that. If I ever take a loss, you believe that your boy finna get it right back. Why? I just move like that. Hit me up and wanna bring two right back. I just move like that. Hit me up and wanna bring two right back. I just move like that. Hit me up and wanna bring two right back. I just move like that. Hit me up and wanna bring two right back.
You were tuned in to G5JeffTv, aka G5, aka 5, aka the Guru. Now, usually I call these interviews, but I can't call this one an interview because they both family to me. One of the best coaches in the game right now, Coach Pepe Pena. What is going on?
How much? What's up with you, G?
Everything good. Everything is good. And the man of the hour got a spectacular knockout. Not that long ago, my man Tristan Tree James. What is going on, good brother?
What up, G? Poppin'.
Hey, listen. So I be telling people all the time that Tristan James is a success story. Your actual story is actually better than the undefeated guy trying to move up the ranks that hasn't really fought anybody. For the people that don't know Tree, like just your background as a fighter, can you just, before we get into the fight that happened in February, can you just tell them your background just as a fighter, like the people you fought, their records, things like that?
I mean, if you actually add up the total loss ratio of everyone that I fought and opponents, it may be 3-4 losses. If like every person that I fought has been undefeated. When I fought them in the beginning, they were undefeated. None of them had a loss. They had a 0. It was an undefeated record every time. It was all game opponents. More than game, they were A-side every time. They were always A-side.
Coach, I know you wasn't there for every single one, but since you've been with Tree, how difficult is it actually training Tree going into every single fight and the guy is undefeated?
Well, when we got back together, it was during that COVID first hit. So we had a year together all by ourselves before that first fight back in May down in South Carolina after that first interview we had with you.
Right.
Our mindset from the get-go was you can't lose anymore.
Right.
Older guy, it's just that's what we looked at. You just can't lose. We just got to get better as we go on. And, of course, we came to Philadelphia and had a little bump in the road.
Mm-hmm.
That just made us better. That just made us want it so much more. We didn't like that feeling we had up there. And myself didn't like the feeling that I didn't think we got the fair shake. Because once, you watched the fight, once Tree was starting to go down, they're running across the ring, yelling, it's over already. I turned to the commissioner. I go, what the fuck is this? Sorry, my language. I go, we come all the way over here. We can't even get a chance to fucking get up. That's exactly
right.
When the people who worked the corner, and he just looked at me, he goes, and shrugged his shoulders. I told Tristan, I said, man, just don't worry about it. Let's just get up out of here, and we moved on. We just took that as a loss. Another eye-opener, probably was a good thing. Not a good thing that he missed his flight, but it gave him a chance. It gave him a chance to drive back from Pennsylvania to Iowa with my other corner guy, Lance. Lay him down. What's up, Lance?
What up, Lance?
They got a chance to drive back. So I know they was going over the fight, talking about the fight. So it could have been, one of them losses that he's just by himself on a plane coming back. He didn't. He had a chance to go over the fight. I'm sure they talked about the fight, what can get better and stuff like that. But it's just we just go into everything now. Is that we just gotta work out like it's our last day working out. We gotta just keep pushing harder and harder each day.
Right. And Tree, can you and this question is really for the guys that's not undefeated, the guys that don't have the big contracts, the guys that's not getting the push from the Bob Arums and the Eddie Hearns, the Al Haymans. Can you explain to the people what happened with you after your loss to Mushin in terms of the deal and everything?
I can tell you mentally, I was broke down. Mentally, I was hurt. I thought it was over. I thought my career was tarnished like completely for the first time ever getting dropped and getting knocked out for the first time and actually not being knocked out. I thought it was over. But one thing I can quote you on is that you told me, you said, this is just going to open more doors for you. This is just going to really just help you out more. You know what I'm saying? These guys that has undefeated records, it's harder for them to find fights. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But with you having this record where, yeah, you've been losing, but you also been winning, these promoters are going to be hitting you up left and right. And literally not even 2 weeks after that, they was blowing my phone up, hitting me left and right. And then not even a month after that, I got my promotional deal.
So who was, for the people that don't know, who's the promotional deal with?
It's going to be Scott T and Monty Cox. Our promotion is Extreme Maximus Boxing.
Which is very important for you because not only did you fight all undefeated guys, but you never fought in your own home state, correct?
Never did, and finally got the opportunity to do it, and it's beautiful.
So you went back to back. So your last 2 fights has been in Iowa, and that was after a loss.
Yeah.
You would have figured after the win, you would have got that. So when you beat Kenneth Allen, you would think that they would have came knocking on the door then, but they didn't come knocking on the door. So it's kind of amazing how things kind of work out. And, you know, when you think you in your dark hour, you know,
Yeah.
Now the fight that you just had against Eric Abraham, what weight was that at?
It was at 178, so that's light heavyweight. But I think when you actually get into like the world rankings, I think it's actually 175. But since we're at a lower level right now, it's 178.
Right. Because initially when I heard about the weight, you know, anyone that's making weight is really how comfortable, you know, can you make the weight? How was that journey for you since I know your last fight was a cruiserweight?
Woo! It was a test. It was a test. It was just like how when me and Coach was losing the 25 pounds when we first came back from COVID, when we was trying to cut down the cruiserweight. We was 225, so then we lost that 25 pounds, and then I had to turn around and do it again. It was more or less just like me wanting to feel comfortable. You know, there was some points where I just felt like I was weak, but I really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It was in my mind. I just got to keep pushing, and then you see the results. Where it all worked out for me.
Coach, was you concerned about the how Tree was going to be on fight night after the weight cut? Were you personally concerned about that?
No, I wasn't. We were keeping good track of that. He was barely. Every time he walked out of the gym, he was 1 pound off the limit, off the weight he needed to make the next day. He'd come in, he loses weight like crazy. So some days it's full straight on plastics. I don't care if you get tired, smacking you around or whatever. You just going, and then once you take, I said, okay, today you can take the top off, and then then that the air hits you, and you can feel the you're not so drained anymore. So once I got to that point of the camp, I knew it was a wrap. I knew he was gonna be fine. I knew once he get in there, he's gonna be strong and all that stuff. So I wasn't concerned. I wasn't.
I seen the fight, right? And there was some now, Coach, you can clarify this, but to me there were some technical things I seen with Tree that got cleaned up from the last time I seen him. Could you guys get into I guess some of the things you've been working on technically going into this fight?
Yeah, I would say the first fight. It's funny you said that. The first fight he had here, it wasn't so technical.
Right.
Up to be in front of his fans, want to give him a show, want to be Mr. I'm this, I'm that.
That's exactly what I was aiming for, Coach. Go ahead.
This time. We ain't doing that shit this time. You can do that after you end up stopping them. We were looking for the stoppage. Anyway, like I said, the longer the rounds are going, we're trying to drown people. We're trying to have our, conditioning outdo their conditioning. So we did a lot of cleaning up. Actually, was on the bag. The bag work, keeping them at a distance. The jab comes out nice and popping, not so close when you're sitting there hitting the bag too close. Distance. All I had to yell, distance. Next, he's stepping back, pop, 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 and then everything was way better. Then my gym isn't that big, and I used to have all these bags crammed up, so Tree couldn't move. So I moved everything around, so we made space so he could just move around like he's in the ring when he's on the bag, and that made a big difference as well.
Wow.
And plus we went, I call it the Kenneth Allen blueprint to this guy. We was barred to drown. I mean, it make a difference round 2 or round 6, going right back to that what worked for us down there.
Yeah.
Because when we came to Philly, that first round we did well. He did well, but he stopped listening. Yeah. He tell you he went back to the old Tree just for that 1 second, and boxing, that's all it takes is that 1 second.
Yeah.
Takes that 1 second. And the good thing, that fight, we took the L, but at the same time, Mushin was the man enough to come to us after the fight, up at one of his darkest moments in boxing, and talk to him and tell him about how nice his jab was. He didn't know he didn't know. He didn't, the jab was him at range. He didn't know what to do. This guy is telling us that.
Shout out to
out of his mouth. Shout out to Mushin for sure, because we took that and went and we ran with that as well. You got it. I looked at him when he told Tree that. Tree looked at me. I looked at him. He goes, "Man, I didn't think it was working." I said, "No, it was working.
It was definitely working." You got it, Trey.
Yo, I didn't think my jab was working, man. Until it's crazy because it's like when you do certain things, you don't notice that it's working until you actually get in the ring and start doing it. You're like, well, damn, it's this the kids in here all the time. I say this repetition, man. You just got to keep repeating something over and over and over again until your body just natural, just does it. You don't have to think no more.
Yeah, Coach, I don't know if Tree told you, but I actually put Tree on the phone with Mushin maybe a month or 2 after the fight. I was at the gym and he just so happened to be there, and we actually got to talking about the fight, and he actually admitted that he was looking forward to the fight because he was kind of offended that you was just running into everybody's hometown thinking you was just going to whip ass and just take names, So I said, well, let me see a Tree pick up, and you could tell there was just mutual respect between the two. Tree, if you had an opportunity to get that back in a different state, would you take it?
Yeah, but it would have to be big money and it had to be for a belt. I've already made that clear now that I've seen what I can do in the light heavyweight division. This is where I'm at. I'm sitting here for a while. Literally, if they want to offer me a cruiserweight fight, it better be some big money. And I learned this from the best, G5.
Absolutely.
Big money, or it better give me a belt. One of the two. Other than that, we ain't talking.
And the thing that's funny, we're doing this interview now when we're talking about Mushin, and you have fought. Was this your second fight since that fight?
Yep.
He's just now getting his fight
tonight.
Wow.
Tonight. So he had a fight before, got canceled. Yep. I think part of it was because Jesse Hart was on the card, and that's just a lot of money they got to get thrown around. So he's actually fighting tonight, which is crazy, and he weighed in at 195.
Yeah, I seen that.
So you wasn't fighting no lightweight at that particular time. Now, the guy Eric Abraham, did you know much about him before the fight?
I didn't know much about him. I just heard about him. So I went ahead and did some little research and tape on him just to try to break him down and see what he was about. But I didn't see nothing too impressive. I just knew he had a lot of power on him. That's about it.
It was funny because the one shot that you landed on Eric, and I was asking for it in the Mushin fight, and you finally gave it to me, was the that quick right hand that you hit him with off the break.
Yeah.
And they say keep your hands up at all times.
But
And
we worked on that a lot this time. Worked on it a lot, and it just came in. And the funny thing, you said that from my point of view, I just thought that old dude threw a wild and missed. Okay, I stopped what I seen, and I seen another view of it, and I'm like, well, damn, he caught him with that short right we be working on, and that backwards.
Gee, I didn't even know I hit him. I didn't even know I hit him until I went back. I was like, literally, it was my hand was up like this. I dropped my hand down, bam. And then when he stumbled back, I was like, whoa, how'd you hit him? I don't even know how it happened, but he still, like he said, it just kept repeating something over and over.
I was waiting, and the reason I even mentioned that is because in the Mushin fight, the biggest reason why the jab was working is not only was you scoring, but you was putting yourself in the best position defensively. So you had Mushin missing a lot of hooks, but when he was getting close, I was like, he's not used to backing up and throwing, and I'm like, all right, give me that short hook. Give me that short hook off the. It only had to be a break, but when you trying to separate, you close and then you trying to separate back. Yeah. Give him that little short hook. So I personally was happy to see the hook, but you really didn't see how clean you caught him until you see the replay of it.
Yeah.
It was You're nice. Right about that. Yeah.
And that came off of him just had hurt him. Just not too long before that. So I think he wasn't clear from that, being hurt that first time. That just triggered something. He's like, I got to get up out of here. And I told him, I go, what this dude does, when he goes to the ropes or corner, he tries to get in that shell. And he sure enough went back and tried to get in that shell. And I said, Tree, you got to throw this punch. And he threw it. Didn't hit him, but it set up what came behind it.
Yeah. And the short hook off the break, basically, the thing that was crazy about that is when you caught him, he was loading up his shot. Like he was loading up so big that by the time in the video games when you power up, like he went to go power up, and by the time he got to the top to power up to throw the shot, your shot already landed. So when he fell back like that was his whole momentum that he was about to give you with the shot.
Yeah. And
he just got caught like it was a picture perfect shot, and then the ending was just
it's funny,
man,
that because I broke him down. It wasn't that hard to break that dude down for some reason. Everything I broke down, we worked on it worked. I said, Tree, like I said, the shell thing. I said, he likes to throw them he likes to load up on his lead front hand and throw a wild overhand. You just got to catch him real quick, or make sure you can get out of there. And he did everything he was supposed to do, but boom.
Hey, coach, this is another thing I noticed. Tree a couple of times went from orthodox to southpaw, like right in place.
I was waiting.
Yeah. And that's part of the
thing. Yeah, and the thing that was funny with Eric, and I don't even know if he noticed it. His legs completely locked up when that happened. You could tell, like he was like, oh man, he went from orthodox to southpaw, and it was kind of like, what do I do?
Yep.
And his legs looked like they were literally locked. And every time Tree did that, he was able to get his punches off. Yeah. Like, did you see like usually when you switch from orthodox to southpaw, like right then and there on the spot, does it look like your opponent kind of going through a transition? Like, wait a minute, that's something new. Like I'm not used to seeing that.
With him,
yeah.
Happening I'm gonna just break it down to you. Like when I first started, and you can see the fight, I was throwing the ortho jab. I was throwing it because that was always working. But for some reason, it wasn't landing. I'm like, what is going on? And I noticed that when I was in camp. Shout out to my boy Brian Houston. He be coming down here sparring me from Omaha. When he was sparring me, the same thing was happening with him too. I was shooting my ortho jab, but it just wasn't landing. He's a southpaw too, so I said, let me try something different. I switched to southpaw. Southpaw was just working. The jab, back, because that's my natural stance. I trained went 10 years plus. So I just kept using it. So that southpaw jab was working. But then I noticed when I was throwing the double right hand or left hand over top, it was catching him. I'm like, okay, let me go back to that again. Bam. He wasn't doing nothing about it. So he was confused.
That's one of the simplest drills I have my kids do to this day. It's 1-1-2. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, pop, pop. It don't matter if they're getting close, but that 2 is when you throw hard.
Yep.
If the first 2 land, then that's good, and you just ready to mop them up with the 2. But and like I said, he came back to the corner. I said, you stay there. We're staying this way. Don't move back to the other side. Because when I started to learn more and more, he fights more aggressively from the southpaw because that's his usual thing. He's more technique on the ortho side.
Yep, you're right about that.
You know who that sound like, Coach?
That makes sense to you?
It does make sense. You want to know who suffers from that as well?
Who?
Terrence Crawford.
He was gonna say Bud. I knew he was gonna say
Bud. Bud, when he fights, or if you think about it, Bud is top 3, 4 in the world, right? But if you think about it, how much success does he actually have from the orthodox stance? He goes no more than a round in the orthodox stance. I don't even look at him as an orthodox fighter.
I haven't watched too many of his fights, but I think when he does that, he's like he's trying to see his angles from different sides. You know what I mean?
Right.
See, okay, if I'm missing on this side a little bit, I'm on this side. It's going to hit from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always making sure treat both sides of the bag, both sides of shadow boxing. We're not sticking this to one side. We can't forget the other side. But now I think as well as I seen him back as an amateur when I first got into amateur boxing, back into it at his old gym, he was we didn't have no power. It was all the speed and this athletics, being athletic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now he has the power. He knows how to sit on both sides. That's why I never knew this until he knocked out Kenneth Allen. That was his first TKO he ever had in his career. I didn't know that.
Me either.
And that's from putting in all that hard work, doing all this other stuff, sitting down on punches. Now he has 3 TKOs and the 1 loss against Moose.
Hey, and these are not your typical like KOs neither, like TKOs neither. These are like demos. Like these are like demolition jobs.
Well, like I said, I always tell them stay humble. Stay humble. It's your time, man. It's your time. I'm just there for the ride. Now, I'm your coach. I'm there for ride. Let's go places. It's up to you. I can only get you ready. You the one that got to do all the work.
Yep.
So,
but the thing that's crazy about that is, and I tell people this all the time. I'm like, you could look at a person's record and you be like, oh yeah, they 15-0, 12 knockouts and all of that. And the first thing I tell them, go look at their resume. Go look at their resume. Go look at their resume and see who they fought.
mm-hmm.
And so when I think of Tree, I'm like, and it's not just me, right? I know we family and all that, but it's not just me. Like I tell other people about you two, and the thing that's crazy is people like they look at your resume and they like, yo, you done fought all killers. You done fought all killers. So the way I look at it, I'm like, you're currently 6-4. If you put any fighter in the world in your situation where they have 10 fights and all of them are undefeated, there's a lot of guys that's not coming out over 500.
Like I truly believe this, and I've told him this already. I said if I was there from the beginning of your pro career, that record would be different. A lot of them fights,
absolutely.
A lot of them fights he lost, he could have won because I've seen a couple of them. Okay, and all that had to do with was listening. That's all it was. Just listen.
And Coach, and now you wasn't in on the first interview I ever did with Tree. The first interview I ever did with him, actually Mike was on it. And I told Tree, I said, you know, it is okay to fight somebody that's not undefeated, right? Like you get it. I was like, it's okay. I was just like, it's like you need a couple fights to, you know what I'm saying, work on things, get a couple W's. Like you got to build momentum for yourself. So the fact that we had that conversation to the Kenneth Allen fight and everything that went on with that fight, the Mushin fight, which for me, I'm like, I don't know what would have happened after the knockdown. I don't know if you would have fully recovered. I don't know if he would have stopped you. I don't know. The fact is, you don't stop a fight when a person's in midair and their ass ain't hit the canvas yet. That's just and I said that to him. I said that to him. I don't say anything behind anybody's back that I don't say to their face. We was in the gym. I said, yo, I thought the stoppage was premature. I said he didn't even hit the ground yet. So, but it was a blessing in disguise because now you guys, you have the promotional deal, you have the backing, you have the belt. Absolutely.
Hey, it's a start.
That's a start. Listen,
Start.
there's a lot of people that have belts. They didn't earn it.
Yeah.
You went in the ring and actually earned that belt. And if people want that belt, they gotta come see Tree James. And that's just the bottom line of it. Do you have anything lined up now?
Yep. We lined up for April 16th at the Hy-Vee Hall against Kevin Ingle. So if y'all want to go look him up, do what you do. It is what it is. It's gonna be the same game plan, blueprint. Kenneth Allen.
What's how many rounds?
That's what we call it.
6. I think it's 6.
It's a 6-round fight. What's the weight?
After this fight, he's gonna have me ranked in the light heavyweight division. Because after that last fight, they got me in 12th right now for the cruiserweights.
Okay. Is this a cruiserweight fight?
No, the light heavyweight.
Light heavy?
Yeah, this is gonna be a
178 again?
Yep, title defense.
We're trying to do everything at light. Because he can get there. It's easy. Right now he's like 185.
Yep.
So I said I know you want to eat. We ain't blowing up, dude. Stay at 185.
Yeah.
We can cut that easily. That's easy.
And the thing about that, the thing that's crazy.
Hold up, man. I'll be sweating too, man.
Yeah, he do.
I'll be sweating like a bug, boy.
Rap.
The thing that's crazy is like at 175, you a completely different problem just because of your physical dimensions, your height, your reach, the fact that you can go orthodox to southpaw to orthodox at any point during the course of a round, and you have just enough with your resume that if people don't do no real homework on you, they gonna give you a call thinking they gonna get a W, which, like I said before, is the perfect spot to be in. It's an absolute perfect spot to be in. And 175 is, it's cracking right now. Like it's really cracking right now. I mean, you got Joe Smith, Dimitri Bivol, Canelo is about to fight May 7th. He's gonna be at 175.
Okay.
Beterbiev is at 175.
That's what
Badu Jack. It's a lot of guys at 175. 175 that's the division to be in right now. And Gilberto Ramirez is there. David Benavidez might move up there. So it's a lot of action at 175. And to be honest with you, Tree, you seen, our fellow brother Chino get a shot on PBC.
Mm-hmm.
They giving guys opportunities. And the fact that you got another fight coming up, you said it's in April?
Yep, on the 16th.
Right. So that'll put you at 7-4 with the dub. Usually those types of records will get you a showbox PBC opportunity. And it'll probably be against somebody that got either 0 losses or 1 loss or something like that. But the difference in that situation is that if you're fighting an undefeated guy and it's on Showtime, then it's worth the risk.
Oh yeah. It
don't matter where it is. Like it's worth the risk at the end of the day. So that's what I'm looking forward to, because if you can get this one in April and then you get another one in the summertime, then you know, you should be at 8-4, and those bigger fights for them bigger paydays should be there. And don't be surprised if it's not an overseas opportunity.
That's cool.
You got your passport?
We're gonna have to work on that.
We're gonna have to work on that off camera.
Definitely have to get that passport.
Yeah, you gotta get your passport. Because to be honest with you, that's the first thing that they look at before they even give you a call.
Oh man, okay.
So you gotta we're gonna have to work on that. Getting you, coach, you know what I'm saying, get your passport. Because it's kind of and it makes sense, because it's like, you know, they looking at a list of fighters and all that. The first thing they're gonna ask, do you got a passport? As soon as you say no, they can be like, all right, but we can't do nothing.
Yeah.
Once you get your passport, then it's like, oh, all right, cool, he's open to absolutely everything. And you know, I got the UK connects anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So coach, do you I know you're in the amateur circuit. I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're heavy in the amateur circuit right now. Can you give people an update on what's going on with you in the amateur circuit, things like that?
Well, it's starting to get a little better around here in Iowa. More shows, more teams popping up around Iowa. I'm just starting to want to throw shows now and stuff like that. So, like I was telling you earlier, I was behind the 8 ball when it comes to amateur boxing, because we just lost all them open Golden Glove boxers. And I see all the lists that come in from my shows, and I know which gym has the open fighters, which gyms have the novice fighters, which gyms have the senior fighters. And right now, we may have 2 senior open guys, and the rest are all novice or already to be open. But at the same time, as I also told Tree, a lot of these guys don't want to sit there and have a bunch of fights. They just want to fight what's best for them instead of going out and get the experience so they can be ready when they get to the open. That's what I try to explain. I try to tell people at the open against the novice, and they just look at me like they really don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, unless you're, an amateur, you're been around for a while, you know.
Right.
Even for it's trying to get better. Let's put it that way. I don't want to talk too much about it, because I got a lot of juicy stuff for us when we talk.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Just say it's getting better. It's improving. It could be way better. We'll talk about that.
Absolutely. And the reason I even asked that question is because there's another guy that's pretty heavy in the amateur scene out of New York. And he told me similar things. He didn't use the same verbiage as you just did, but a lot of these amateur coaches, they have to have a lot of run-ins with the people that's controlling these kids, they parents and guardians and things like that, and they kind of want to play the role of the parent, and they want to be the parent and Al Heyman at the same time. Do you get not getting too much into it? Is that something you go through?
But guess what? I don't let that shit happen in my gym.
Absolutely. And the thing that's crazy, in New York, it's an actual issue. From what I was told, it's an actual issue.
Oh, I believe me. I've seen it. I've been through that. I know. It's there. It's sad. And another one is the I call them seasonal boxers.
Oh,
the ones that want to run around, play all these different sports, but only want to box three months out of the year. That's another bad one.
Yeah,
don't play
they the ones that actually get exposed.
Yep, you don't play boxing. If you want to be good, you got to be here all the time, because if you catch up with one person, you go play your sports, you come back 6 months later, that person was just about your same experience. They don't pass you up. They don't got way better.
And coach, when you're playing other sports, for those seasonal boxers, when you're playing other sports, am I correct by saying that when you're playing these other sports, you're doing different types of conditioning that's not really conducive to boxing? So when you come back into boxing, you may be in shape, but it's not typically a boxing type shape. Am I correct?
I tell it all the time, man. So I don't care if you're out playing football. I don't care if you're out playing baseball. Are you constantly moving? No, you are not. So you leave and you come back, you're going to be behind everybody when it comes to conditioning. I guarantee you that. I tell people, someone will miss for like 2 weeks because they had to work or something like that. And they'll come back, they're already out of shape because their body, you know what I mean? Because it's not staying constantly doing what it needs to be doing for the boxing stand part of it. So I got to tell them is I just tell them, man, if boxing is something you want your kid to be good in, they got to be here all the time.
Absolutely.
Want to play other sports, just is fine with me, but still try to make some time for the boxing gym too.
Yeah. Hey, Tree, is there any particular, before I let you guys go, is there any guys you're looking at 175 is like, yo, I want him? Like, is there anybody at 175 or cruiserweight that you're looking at and you're just like, yo, I would like that matchup?
When I get to that point, the 2 world title list, Bertubiev, that one, Bertubiev, however you name it. That's all. Right.
Just whoever got a strap.
Yep, you know that's all. Manifestation, man. I want that world title. I'm gonna bring the world title back. Last one was Michael Nunn. It's gonna be the King of Iowa next. I'm telling you, I'm on it. I am on it.
It's long overdue. That's number one.
Overdue. It's like 30 years, ain't it?
Yeah.
Hey, G, you know Michael Nunn started off my gym back home. You know that, right?
I know.
Second to none. I was part of his group. I was a little guy.
The thing that's funny, I was supposed to get an interview with him, and that was one of the things that I was told. He knew of me from the conversations that I've had with you and Tree and Chino as well. So that's how I actually know about that. But the fact that it's been that long before, since Iowa's had like a world champion, like that says a lot. But I think you're at the right weight. At light heavy. To be honest with you, Joe Smith is a champion. You can make the claim that Joe Smith lost that championship fight. There were some people that felt like he lost that fight, and he's another blue collar guy. He's from New York, but he's a blue collar guy. He's not you. When you think of Joe Smith, you don't think that he's heavily skilled. He's gotten to a world title strictly off of strength and will. To be honest with you, so you have a champion in place right now that didn't get it off of just, I'm supremely talented. I'm more talented than everybody else. So you have an example to look at right there, and if you can get a couple more victories this year, matter of fact, how many times you trying to fight this year, Trey?
We fought twice, maybe 6. If we can get 4 more in, we good. That'll put us at
10-4. That'll put you at 10-4.
Time is ticking, man.
Yeah, that'll put you at.
He ain't take no damage that last fight. He already in shape. He's still in shape. We going even harder. He's probably in better shape now than he was for that last fight.
Yeah, I was.
Besides putting a little weight on.
Yeah, that's about it.
We done turned it up a couple notches up in here. I mean, everybody. I'm training all these little beginner kids like I'm training pro, like they're pros. And if they can't take it, they just got to go, man.
They got to leave.
It's no more of this baby stuff, man. I can't do that.
Absolutely. And you said April 18th?
16th. Yep.
So April 16th, Tristan Tree James will be back in the ring, defending his belt. And that
USA Mid-American light heavyweight title. And this and for all y'all people out there, to let y'all know, there is promotionals and there's promotions that out here that create belts that don't even have no representation, don't have nothing to it at all. This belt is actually ranked under the International Boxing Federation. And if y'all don't know what that is, that's the IBF. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the IBF. So it is ranked. It is ranked. Look at it close.
Yes.
Can't see that sun. The
The man upstairs is shining on the belt.
Right.
Like
Right.
but I'm glad you said that, Tree, because a lot of people that are not boxing hardcores, all they know is IBF, WBO, WBC, WBA. That's it. They don't know that there are a lot of belts that are out there that have representation and they have meaning to it. Some belts may mean that gets you a top 15 ranking in the IBF. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that don't know that. And so these belts, the belts that have meaning are belts that are important, especially when you've gone into the ring and actually earned them. They weren't given to you by a sanctioning body. You know, you didn't get them, you know, because you cool with the commission and all of that. No, like there was a date, there was a place, there was a time, you was in there with someone and you actually beat that person for that belt. So there is no world title unless you have that one that's in your lap right now. So congratulations to you, Tree, for making the incredible transition from where you was at in your career, probably about a year and a half ago, where you didn't know where or when you was getting a fight. You was just training, and I know that's the hardest thing to do is train, and you don't have no opponent in sight. I know that's the hardest thing to do, and I know, Coach, that's the hardest thing for you as well, because you want to actually be coaching someone and training someone with someone in mind so you can talk strategy.
Especially,
you know,
let me hit back on what you said before doing the homework. We had once COVID started, boxing started coming back from COVID. We got a lot of fights against prospects. A lot of them, PBC,
Golden Boy,
and they'd call back a week later. No, we don't want that fight. So they did their homework. And they knew they was getting it. It must have something happened. So we kept getting them. We had like about 5 or 6 of them happen to us within a couple of months because we were trying to jump on everything. You know, we wanted to fight. We'd already been grinding for about maybe 7 months or so.
Right.
Time. So yeah, you got that right on that one. But
it's crazy too. He says that, you know, that Tristan Calcruth dude. Remember the one that was at cruiserweight? He's at
right.
I'm gonna end up seeing him again. I'm gonna have to see him this time. Because remember, he was the one that Golden Boy. He said, "Nah, I don't want to." Nah.
Yep, he's one of them.
Nah, he tried.
And that's, hey, you know the thing that's funny? That's the biggest compliment that you can get. That's the biggest compliment that you can get.
Yep.
So at that time when you were getting rejected, if I'm not mistaken, you were either you might have been 4-4.
Yeah, I think it was
at that time.
4-4-2. Yep. It was 4-4-2. Yep. It was
4-4-2, and you have guys from the major movements in boxing saying, "No, I'm not fighting him." That's the biggest compliment you can get because Boots Ennis is going through that right now. He may be the hottest fighter in the sport. We literally talked to Boozy Ennis, and he said there was a total of 15 to 20 guys that turned him down before he got his Lipin Yets fight. 15 to 20. Like they won't even let him finish a sentence. They hanging up the phone. So the fact that you have guys that was in PBC, Golden Boy, that are like flat out no, like that says a lot. And at that point, you haven't even made the improvements that you've made now.
We didn't at the time. He'd made some improvements, got turned him over to Orthodox, but we didn't get the chance to put it
together.
But we did. It was just Kenneth was the one that had to get it.
Hey, Kenneth Allen, we still we still looking for you, brother.
So bad, man. He was just he rubbed off on us the wrong way, man.
He did. It wouldn't have been so bad. That's why he's killing Allen blueprint now. Like
and people only know that if they listen to our last interview, they know that
I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna have to chop that up and re-drop it, man, so people will be re-educated on that, man. But listen, I ain't gonna hold y'all no more, man. It has been an absolute pleasure. Hey, man, we got a new champion out there in Iowa, man. Tristan Tree James. Tree, give him your social media, brother.
My social media is gonna be KOIA. That's all lowercase _515. You can also catch me at Snapchat King Tree 515, or you can catch me on Facebook Tree James.
Now, this is trivial for Coach because sometimes he gets it, sometimes he doesn't. Can I get your social media, Coach?
I'm better now, man. I was trying to think of him when he was saying but I think it's gonna come out clearer than last time.
Okay.
So is that Pena's DBC on Instagram?
Yes.
Pepe Pena on Facebook, or Pena's Boxing Des Moines on Facebook if you want to follow the team around a little bit.
Hey, Coach.
Better than last time I was chopping it all up.
He did.
Hey, Coach. And I know your social media, so if you had it wrong, I knew enough to correct you too. But listen,
I'm an old school fella, man. I'm trying.
Understood. But listen, please keep us posted. As far as yeah, like training footage, anything like that. Just anything, send it over. We'll put it out. Just in preparation. Just promotion, things of that nature. The fact that you're a champion now, you got to treat things as such. People gonna want to see the champ before the 16th.
Hey man, I'm
so
him now, fam. I'm just thinking when I'm training, I'm like, I gotta go even harder now. Like I got a target on my back. Like
you correct.
Well, I can't do none of that weak stuff no more. Half-ass training. Like so you're right. Right.
You're a champion. You're a champion at the end of the day, and there's more people that are not champions than people that are champions. So you're in the opposite side of the club now.
Like I always told him, I said they might not be liking your stuff, but they watching.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You already know. You already know.
Here real quick before you say that too. The reason why we say that too is because we got like 699, like almost 700 likes, like 150 shares, but 5.6K views. My thing is like, where's the 5.6K likes and shares? That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
They watching. Like I said,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is the people that have turned you down, PBC's watching. The fact that they even called, somebody's talking.
Mm-hmm.
PBC is called, Golden Boy is called. Once we get these passports, Eddie Hearn is probably gonna call, Frank Warren, all these guys. And the thing is, you're in a position of power right now because I don't know if you guys heard, but DAZN has actually their investor that they have is actually, I guess they were in the negative 4.3 billion. The guy actually paid 4.3 billion. So DAZN is actually has a debt of 0. So and 175 is their division because they just gave Canelo a 3-fight deal. And he can make upwards to $160 million. So 175 is where it's at. So not only are you a champion, you made your way down to the weight where all the action is and basically where all the paydays is. So you got some business to handle.
We want houses. So when you come down, like, what up, G?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you're in a division. You're in a money division. Like cruiserweight is a great division, but it's not a money division.
Nope, it's not.
Like
or two.
Nope, it's not.
Light heavyweight is a money division, and light heavyweight, it's a global division. Like it's a global division. There's a lot of divisions where it's just mainly guys in the States that's like on top of the division, or it might be all foreign guys. Like at 175, there's a nice blend of American guys, UK guys, guys from other countries, things like that, where you can really make your mark. So you're really in a good position. Tree, I'm proud of you, bro. You know, this goes way back when you didn't, you know, you didn't have anything lined up. And, you know, we talked about a lot of this stuff on camera, off camera. So to see this stuff, you know, come to fruition and you actually have a belt, you know, represented in Pena's gym, you know, and coach, you know, being behind the controls and everything, you know, I'm proud of you guys. And hopefully we can get 4 more fights this year. And that'll really put you in a real position of strength. And big shout out to Monty Cox too.
Yeah.
For you know, for coming through.
Yes.
At the time that he did, he didn't come at the time that I thought he should have.
Yeah.
But he came like right on time. He came right on time.
It was real perfect. It was.
I wasn't expecting it. I know you called me and you was just like, you know, it happened, and I'm like, wow, like, you know, like I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. I just pretty much told him it's time, man. All that stuff in the past, whatever, you know, you probably know more about it than anyone else. It's time behind it. Let's go. We got to go. We can't. We're coming off the loss to Mushin. We got to go. We got to turn up pretty much, and that's why we just decided we got to do it. Make a change division, everything up, and it was time.
And Mushin fights tonight.
Hopefully, I want to see it.
We'll watch
what happens. Yeah.
I'm gonna actually order it. I think at the very least I'm gonna record it and send it to you at the very least.
Do that.
So you can actually watch it. But he's in a, like I said, he's in a tough spot. He's an undefeated fighter. I think if he wins tonight, it'll be 11-0. But he actually has more, and that's my guy. Like, you know, but he actually has more question marks because he's coming in these fights between 190 and 195, and he's undefeated. And a lot of these cruiserweights are foreign guys, you know, and being with RDR, he's not really connected, you know, as far as the UK scene, you know what I'm saying? So it's not easy for Mushin to get fights, where on your end it's completely different. He doesn't have a belt. If y'all didn't know that, he don't have a belt. He just has an undefeated record. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's just, and I keep saying this for the people that's listening to this before we go. I'm saying this because a loss doesn't define you. A loss doesn't define you. A moment doesn't define you. The moment, and I told Tree this, I'm like, the moment you start treating yourself like luxury, like royalty, like A-side, things is gonna start to change. And I think fighters need to hear that. Because they're so used to everybody telling them, like, no, you're not A-side. No, you're not A-side material. You a B-side.
That's funny you said that, man, because I reminded him of Philadelphia a couple times during the camp. I reminded him, remember how you felt? Get that damn hand up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remind him all the time about that. And I'm not going to do it all the time. It'll be there if I need it. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Makes
sense. I mean, it's I feel like that's probably the biggest message out of this. Just when I talk to you guys, period, you know, because it's so many guys that take a loss and they feel like their life is over. You know, they feel like their life is over. They feel like their career is over. We've seen guys on Top Rank, you know, they take one loss, they get dropped out their contract. There's four dudes that was on Top Rank less than 8 months ago, and they got dropped because they lost a fight. They were undefeated guys on the way up, lost a fight, lost pretty bad, got dropped. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, you know. So everybody has a story to create, you know, in boxing, and you guys are doing a great job. in creating that story and continuing to create that story. And like I said, big shout out to Monty Cox. He's giving you guys the opportunity to kind of redefine the story at home. It's a lot better fighting at home than fighting on the road.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh. You Philadelphia guys, you might be nice outside the venue,
but in the venue, yeah.
Boy. I was hoping he was gonna stop, dude, so we could shut the whole crowd up.
Hey,
it happened, man.
I wanted to go bad too. I wanted to go bad.
You sucked back to Iowa, throwing bottles and shit at us.
It can get a little crazy, but you know,
good time, man. Like I said, it was meant to happen. It happened. Now we're forward. We thank Mushin for real.
For real. Shout out to Mushin, man.
Shout out to you. Good luck tonight.
Giving me my L like that, that really honestly just it woke me up. It taught me some shit about myself. Like it taught me, keep your fucking hand up, man. You ain't that jazzy. Keep your hand up. You hit like everybody else. That's my biggest thing. I learned from that. Stick to your jab, and when you step back, keep your hand up. That was my that fight that night.
Yeah, you know what? It's crazy because there's another guy, he fights at middleweight. Same story as you. His name is Antonio Todd from out of Atlanta. And I talk to him all the time, and I met him for the first time in person. This was on the Julian Williams, was it the Julian Williams and Rosario card?
Okay.
And he fought Kyron Davis, and Kyron just fought David Benavidez. Yeah. So Antonio Todd, he lost to Kyron, and he was down like the way you were after the Mushin fight. He was the same way, and he went back home, got a fight or two. He just beat Hugo Centennial Jr. a couple weeks ago, and he was ranked number 9 in the WBC. So those stories need to be told. They need to be heard. Not only for other fighters, but coaches and managers that represent these fighters. Like, if a guy take a loss, man, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Get back in the gym and keep working. Get back in the gym and keep working, man. But listen, Tree, it was an absolute pleasure, brother. Coach, I'm announcing this now. Coach and I, we gonna be talking at least once a month. And it's strictly on the amateur scene. And Coach is gonna be giving out a lot of game, man, a lot of jewels that people can take and run with, and things that just people need to hear, like not only from the Iowa amateur scene, but just from a boxing standpoint, period. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We're gonna do some promo for that. Get Coach some more FaceTime. You know what I'm saying? Need to be behind the mic a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Coach, one of the best coaches in the business. You know what I'm saying? And people need to know that. When you take somebody like Tree and you add different elements to their game, and you see the progression every single fight. That's the sign of a great coach, and that's what you have. And Coach Pepe Pena. So Tree, thank you so much for the time, brother. Appreciate you. I'll talk to you off camera. Coach, I will talk to you off camera as well, so we can set everything up. All right, any final words from you two?
Just be looking out for the king of Iowa, baby. I'm at the light heavyweight division, man. Looking out. I'm coming. I am coming.
Absolutely. Coach?
What he said. I'm right there.
Lance Williams, he gonna be there with us too.
I'm right there.
We there.
Big shout out to Lay Him Down too, man. Big shout out to Lay Him Down, man. Listen, on behalf of Tristan Tree James, Coach Pepe Pena, and G5JeffTv, man. Appreciate it, fellas. We out.